Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel From Mora with Love. Today I want to talk about the relationship between Poles and Ukrainians. Before we start, I want to make something very clear. This video is not against any nation or any group of people. This video is not against Ukrainians, not against Poles and not against Russians. The situation in the world today is difficult and emotional. My goal here is not politics. This channel is not a political channel. I want to talk about human relations, about feelings, doubts, questions, and social discussions. Some of these things you will not hear on television, but you can hear them in everyday conversations between people. Uneori realitatea este complicată, dar trebuie să vorbim despre ea. Even though I do not live in Poland right now, I still follow very closely what is happening there. I talk to people and observe the public mood. Today, I want to share some of these observations. So, let's begin. When the war in Ukraine started in 2022, Poland reacted in a very strong and emotional way. Millions of people wanted to help immediately. The borders were opened very quickly. Many Polish families opened their homes. People offered rooms, apartments, and sometimes entire houses. There were volunteers everywhere, at train stations, borders, and city centers. There were also huge collections of money, food, clothes, medicine, and humanitarian aid. Ordinary people helped in an extraordinary way. It was something very rare in modern Europe. Polonezii au ajutat foarte mult la începul războiului. What a difficult word. Războiului. Many Ukrainians received access to schools, healthcare, housing, and social support. For many people escaping the war, Poland became a safe place. However, after some time, the situation started to change. This often happens in large humanitarian crises. At the beginning, there is emotion and solidarity. Later, everyday life slowly returns. Millions of people arrived in Poland in a short time. This naturally created pressure on housing and jobs. People also started noticing cultural differences and sometimes misunderstandings appeared. Another thing that started appearing was fatigue. Many Polish people helped a lot in the first months. But after a longer time, some people started feeling tired of the constant crisis situation. După un timp, oamenii devin obosiți de situație. This does not mean that people suddenly became hostile. It simply means the situation became more complex. And these complexities are not always visible in the media, but they exist in everyday discussions. Another topic that still exists in the background of Polish-Ukrainian relations is history. For many Poles, the events of the Second World War are still a painful memory. In 1943 and 1944, many Polish civilians were killed during massacres in the region of Volhynia. Whole villages vanished and many families lost their relatives in very cruel ways. For many Poles, this tragedy has never been fully resolved. Some people feel that this chapter of history has not been properly closed and that memory still exists today. Istoria rămâne mult timp in memoria oamenilor. Because of this, historical topics sometimes return in modern discussions between the two societies. Another sensitive issue is the way some historical figures are remembered in Ukraine today. I want to say clearly that mentioning this is not meant to insult anyone. In Ukraine are monuments, museums, and public references to figures like Stefan Bandera or Roman Suchewicz. For some Ukrainians, these figures represent the struggle for independence, but for many Poles, these names are associated with the tragedy of Polish civilians during the war. Because of this difference in historical memory, many Poles feel uncomfortable when they see these symbols or hear about these figures being honored. Uneori două țări ved istoria în mod diferit. Some people in Poland compare this situation to how Germany dealt with its past. Germany clearly distanced itself from the darkest parts of its history. Again, this is not an accusation, it is simply an explanation of why this historical topic still exists in discussions in Poland today. Another topic that people discuss in Poland today is the question of gratitude. As I said before, the help from Polish society was very large. Millions of people received housing, education, healthcare, and different forms of support. But after some time, some Poles started feeling that this help is not always appreciated enough. Of course, many Ukrainians are grateful and many are working and building their lives in Poland, but in everyday conversations, some people say they do not always see that gratitude. Another topic is the social support system. Sometimes there are situations where people try to use benefits they might not fully qualify for or try to bypass certain rules. Aceste lucruri pot crea frustrate in societate. Some Poles also feel that in certain situations people with Ukrainian passports might receive faster help or better access to services than Polish citizens themselves. Whether this perception is always correct or not, it is a topic that appears often in everyday discussions in Poland today. So, when we look at all of this together, we can see that the situation is complex. On one hand, there were incredible help and solidarity from Polish society when the war started. On the other hand, history, emotions, and social changes create discussions that are sometimes difficult. Relacje între țări sunt uneori complicate. My goal in this video was not to attack anyone or create conflict between people. I simply wanted to explain some thoughts and feelings that exist in Poland. Because if we want better relations between societies and nations, we also need honest conversations about difficult topics. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you found this topic interesting, please consider subscribing to this channel. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a like, share the video and write your thoughts in the comments. Thank you again for being here. I will see you in the next vlog. Take care and see you next time. Bye.